And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Friday, October 4th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. A Friday morning. We're glad to have you with us. If you walked outside this morning, it's just a little bit cooler than it's been at this time of day. We're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, and we are glad to have not one but two representatives here this morning. John McDermott, who is president, is with us. John, good morning to you.
Morning, Coleman.
And we have another guy named John, whose last name is Foster. John Foster, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
All right. We're glad to have you. John Foster, Executive Vice President. John McDermott, President, Wilson Bank and Trust. And what do you got for us this morning?
Coleman, we wanted to come on this morning and kind of, WA&T has been a partner of ours, I think, since day one. And Susie and the whole gang here, your show specifically, has always been so very supportive. And so yesterday in our company, we had a big announcement. And so we wanted to come here to be the first kind of media outlet that we shared the news on. So I'll step back through kind of quickly. You know of our succession planning. Most people know Elmer Richardson retired about 20 months ago now. And Randall is preparing to retire at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And so he has confirmed he's going to do that, right? We're all like, Randall, are you sure? You sure that's what's going to happen? No, but the board years ago, we really announced the first part probably about 5 years ago. And just really to let the shareholders know, to let our employees know what the future is going to look like. And so we've gone through that. And so just yesterday, let me kind of step back one more. I think there were lots of choices. I mean, when a company our size, we could have restructured in a different way. Maybe I serve in a joint role. Maybe we go outside the company to hire somebody because we've grown and we have, for opportunities for other ideas from the outside. But we've done a lot of that as far as hire people from the outside to hopefully make us better. I think you're seeing that. But when it came to this role, we really felt like it was important and that we had the talent within to name that person within. So I was excited today to bring with me John Foster, who many in our community know, to announce that he will take over my role as president effective January 1st. And so we want to share that with you guys today.
Pardon?
I wanted to share that with you all today.
Oh, absolutely. We appreciate that you choose us to make this initial announcement here this morning. I think that's a feather in our cap.
Yeah, that's right.
And John Foster, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You started at the Glade, didn't you?
I did. Started January 20th, 1998 in Gladeville, and just kind of worked there doing various things. Started really kind of new accounts, teller work, and then became the assistant manager and replaced Carolyn Swain, a longtime employee, once she decided to retire, and then came to Lebanon in 2011. And I think sometimes it seems like I've only been in Lebanon 2 or 3 years, but really it's, 2011, that's what, 8 years ago. Yeah. Time flies, so.
Well, I introduced you as Executive Vice President, and the card I have in my file actually says Senior Vice President, so
I'll get you a new card in January.
You had one promotion since I got this card, and now it's announced you've got another one. How do you feel about this? Because like John McDermott said, there are a lot of people within that could have been chosen for this, I think. I can think of several people that right. I would imagine were considered.
There's plenty of people could do this job. I'm very humbled and thankful that it was me that they chose. It's, as you sit back and reflect, it's a little bit overwhelming initially just thinking about that because there's big shoes to fill there. You have who served in that role so long, and obviously Randall and John. And so it is a big role, but we have great people. And as John often talks about, it's not about 1 or 2 people. It's much more than that now. So that gives you comfort to know you got a great team around you.
Well, hopefully the two of you are pretty much together and on the same page and think a lot alike.
Well, we are from Lebanon and Mount Juliet, but other than that, we think a lot alike, right? Yeah.
Gladeville's kind of in.
Yeah, well, I went to Mount Juliet.
High school. So I was thinking about that this morning. We were like, John's he's a pleasure to work with, and I think we do have probably some separate set of strengths there, but we very much align in our thoughts and just the time with the company we value what we have as a company, and we talk about the first couple, but really, like it's those 523 that are making it happen every day, and they're the ones that determine our success, and hopefully that we're providing leadership and direction and guidance and support and encouragement, and we get in the weeds as well. But it's a big company, and so we're happy to have those people that can make decisions out there as well for our customers.
Well, we've got less than 3 months till Randall will be gone, and as you said, Elmer, other than maybe being on the board, I believe, has pretty much disappeared. So, what's the next 3 months, or nearly 3 months here before the first of the year, look like? It's kind of still a transition period, isn't it?
It is. Just for me, it's absorbing all you can, but really just working closely with Randall, I think, as he gets ready to roll out, and bending his ear as much as possible, and just John and I working together and thinking about what does January 1st look like, and which we've already done a lot of that, but the time will go by quickly.
Well, I'm always wondering if you're still looking for places to expand. I guess you have your eyes open in that regard.
Randall has always been the driver of growth, and not growth for the sake of growing, but if you're not moving forward, it's likely you're going backwards, right? And so he has been the real driving force behind that. But I enjoy that part of it as well, and I think making the right decisions. And finding the right locations and making sure that community is a community you feel like you can succeed in is important. But you've also seen that our growth has been slow and steady at the end of the day. It's been very calculated. And that's really, I think, one of the biggest parts of our success is our trajectory may be different from somebody else's. But I feel like a lot of times in the old adage, it's
right for us.
It's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're about out of time here this morning, but we've been talking with John McDearman, currently president, soon to be chairman and CEO.
CEO, right.
And to John Foster, currently executive vice president, soon to be president. So with a big announcement here this morning, and thank you all for coming by. Enjoyed seeing both of you, and congratulations on your promotions and what you're going to be doing.
Thank you, Coleman.
Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, still here, still independent, still committed to you. Middle Tennessee's community bank. All right, we are 11 minutes after the hour, and here on this Friday, Senator Mark Pody makes his presence, and I'll just say Senator Pody is paying for his time this morning, and good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's great to be here. Now, I'm directly across the table from you. I'm normally not at this spot, so this is new for me here.
When have you ever been in the center? You're
That's correct. But I will tell you, I got up this morning early, felt that cold air. It was just refreshing, really did well. Fed the chickens before I got here this morning and brought you some eggs.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. I guess quite a bit's happened since you were here, and I know you've got some notes to talk. And really, I don't have a lot to ask you this morning. I want you to just talk. And I know Barbara, your wife, is going to say you're talking too much, but I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
right.
Well, let me tell you, first, Vice President Pence is coming to Nashville, and he'll be here Monday. So I'm going to be with him a little bit on Monday. I'm looking forward to that. I think he's a great vice president. I really appreciate what he's done, and I think he's going to be doing a great job in Nashville. I like what he stands for and such, so I appreciate that. We had Penny Schwinn, who is the Commissioner of Education here in Lebanon, and she was here last Saturday. And so she came and talked to a group that we had, and she kind of shared some information about teacher salaries. And, we've had our salaries going up for our teachers. They're not up where they need to be. However, the average teacher salary right now in Tennessee is about $50,958. It's up from where it was. We used to be one of the lowest ones in the nation, but we are trying to move up. The General Assembly has been trying to give more and more money specifically to teacher salaries. Now, some school districts are actually spending it differently than what we had hoped, and we're trying to track that a little bit more this year to make sure we can see when we're saying we want this to go to salaries, where it's actually ending up. We want it to be in the classrooms when we're trying to get more money, but it's up to each local school board to make those decisions. And then right after this, I'm going to the chamber. So I'll be first Friday of every month. I try and be at the chamber here in Lebanon, just to talk to people. Anybody has questions, concerns, or whatever. And, I want to be here like today just to make sure I'm in touch with people to let them know what's going on and answer questions that they have and just kind of keep them updated.
Let me get back to Vice President Pence coming. Is there a particular reason? Is this kind of a campaign for President Trump, or what's the purpose of his visit?
Sure. So he's going to be doing a couple different things. One of them, he will be holding a fundraiser for the Trump campaign. But another meeting that he'll be having is just to kind of give a speech and update of what his thoughts are, where the country's going, and what it's looking like for Tennessee. He's also going to be doing a taping, I believe, with Mike Huckabee. So he'll be doing that as well. So it's going to be his day's full.
That ought to be interesting.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. It should be. I believe I'll be in that taping as well. So I'm going to get to watch the two of them kind of interact a little bit.
Have you you met Governor Huckabee? And
yes, I have. I've got.
He is an interesting person, and of course I've seen him. He used to be on Fox News some too, and he actually spoke at George Jones's funeral. So
okay, all right.
we know former Governor Huckabee. He's still out there, even though he's not in public office right now.
That's exactly right. And a few years ago, he ran for president twice, but the first time he actually did very, very well in Tennessee. His values and such, and of course his daughter was President Trump's. Press secretary. That's exactly right. So he's got deep roots here to Tennessee, though, at the same time. So, but that's going to be interesting.
Well, you got a big day then.
I do. That'll be a good day on Monday.
All right, let's take a break right here. Senator Mark Pody is with us this morning here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And we want to thank Bates Ford. They've got lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as a customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's really busy out here now. 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area. Continuing towards Nashville, 840's got a lot of traffic, obviously, over towards Franklin, Williamson County. 41 inbound Murfreesboro Pike. That's picked up quite a bit in the last 10, 15 minutes out here. Prince's Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out, 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, financing a new home isn't just about buying bricks and mortar. It's more like helping a neighbor build and grow in life, and you won't find anyone better equipped for that job than a friendly expert who's right down the street. Whether you're looking at new construction or a home equity line of credit, Wilson Bank and Trust will work with you on a home loan that's closer to home. Visit Wilson Bank and Trust online or in person when you're ready to take your next step in life, and you'll be glad you did. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're a fan of Wilson County High School football, make sure to tune in to the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday after the Lebanon High football game right here on WANT 98.9. Hi, I'm John Boyce. Trent Perry and myself will have all the mid-state scores as well as interviews from each coach within the county. The Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Mitchie's Landscape and Design, Palometto's Insurance, Kenny Salas and Justin Davis with Blackwell Realty, and Sammy Bees. The Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Bryan. Join me every Friday at 6:30. Lebanon High Football takes on some of the very best competition, brought to you by Absolute Kubota, D.T. McCall and Sons, K. Maynard State Farm Insurance, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Wilson Bank and Trust, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, and A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction. Lebanon goes on the road Friday, October 4th at Station Camp.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medore Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Friday morning. Senator Mark Pody is with us. We've got a lot more to talk about.
Absolutely. And Coleman, one of the things I want to touch base on that is pretty significant is healthcare, what's going on in Tennessee. First in Wilson County, of course, Vanderbilt is now the owner of the hospital here. And they had their dinner this week, and it was awesome. They had a lot of people there, and I got to sit down and talk with the CEO and kind of get filled in about a little bit of what they're looking at. And they're going to be making a lot of investments coming in to Lebanon and Wilson County. And the other thing I got to talk to them about is the block grant that Tennessee is applying with the federal government to say, hey, all the money we're getting from TennCare that we're receiving, can we take some of the federal strings off of that and let Tennessee make decisions about how we're going to spend that? And Tennessee already did a waiver with TennCare itself, and so we're one of the leading in the nation on how we're managing our health care here. And it looks like we're making some agreements. It's going to have to be passed by the General Assembly, but we're submitting it to the federal government, and if it comes back, I think it's going to really help health care not only here in Wilson County, but across the state, and especially in rural Tennessee.
Senator, there are a number of people who are scared, people who have coverage now who are afraid they're going to lose some or all of their coverage, and you can understand that, I think.
Absolutely. I would. If we're going to lose coverage, I would not be supporting this. I don't want anybody to lose any coverage that they have right now. I want this to be expanded to make it easier for people to get the health care that they needed. But the money is there. We're talking billions of dollars, but it's how it's spent sometimes that is a question. And I think if we can do more preventive things, and that's one of the things that we want to do, is not just invest in if somebody's sick, how do you treat them, but how do you keep somebody healthy? What kind of lifestyles can we encourage to keep people and do some wellness type programs? And that's some of the things that we're going to be focusing on. I don't think anybody in the General Assembly is saying we want to cut what people have now. It is how do we expand it? How do we be more effective and efficient with the money that's given us?
I think the feeling has been for quite some time that we could do a better job here in the state than what the federal government does with their dictates and so on, with the strings that they attach to a big appropriation like this.
Absolutely. And I think we not only are saying that, we've got the record to prove it, because TennCare itself is a waiver from the federal government of what they were doing. And we have done an excellent job in showing the nation that TennCare is actually a leader in what we're doing. We just want to expand on that experience that we have and make this better for our citizens here in Tennessee.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
So we believe that if it would be approved sometime, we can't force the federal government to do anything, but if they would approve it over the next couple of months, we would be able to bring it up in the spring when we're back in session. So we would hope that we could get everything in order so it would be possibly next year.
Who is, I guess Governor Lee would appoint somebody, maybe with the legislature's approval or whatever, but we've got to have the right person or persons or committee or whatever doing this so that it's done right, I would think.
And we would. However, a lot of it's going to fall underneath TennCare. And because we're one of the leaders in the nation already, I think that a lot of people come and try and take some of our people from TennCare because we are so good. And just kind of expanding what we're currently doing. We're already spending this money. We already have it. We should be able to just take the same money that we're receiving and spend it better, spend it more effectively to help our Tennesseans, our fellow Tennesseans.
So really in your mind, it's as simple as that?
Yes, it is. It's not that we're going to be asking for a whole lot of new things. We're just saying, give us the money you're already allocating to Tennessee, but let us make the decisions on how it's going to be spent. Let us cut through some of this red tape. Let us get it to the people that need it, the people that are sick, the people that are ailing. Let us take those decisions and not the federal government.
Well, now, has the federal government pretty much said they're going to do that? Where do we stand there?
Yeah, so I believe that President Trump has indicated that he would be open and has directed the federal government to be open to be looking at things like this. Now, we're one of the leaders. Nobody else has actually done this yet. Tennessee is one of the leaders doing it, coming and saying, we want to be the one that can get this money and get it delivered to our fellow Tennesseans in the best way we possibly can.
Well, if you have an audience with Vice President Pence, you can probably
I'm going to push this as well. Absolutely. So I am excited about that. And that is a major thing that's happening here in Tennessee. And that could be one of the biggest things that's happening next year in the General Assembly is how we approve this block grant. I will say this, though. If there's a doubt that we think it might hurt Tennesseans, I'm not going to support it. But I'm seeing that it's going to be indexed for inflation. It's going to be indexed for population growth. It's going to be a lot of protections that we were concerned about are in this program already and in the block grant. So we already have things that if something new came, we could still go back and get extra money. So some of the concerns that a lot of people had has been addressed. They are going to be having open and public meetings over the next couple of months for people to come and make comments on it. But we want to hear from people. But I want to assure people as well, if you're currently receiving benefits, we are not interested in cutting the benefits. We're interested in making it more effective so more people can get better health care in Tennessee.
Do you think if this all comes through and we do have a good situation here, a winning one for everybody, that this might take place across the nation?
I do believe that. Coleman, we are made up of 50 individual microcosms of what we can learn from each other. Things are supposed to be done state by state, and what is the best practices from one state, we reach over and say, if the one state's doing it better, we want to grab that and bring it over to Tennessee. But if Tennessee's doing something well, other states can take and use our experiment and then take it for them. And we have been a very strong leader across the nation, especially when it comes to fiscal management, where we're one of the best in the nation, and we got some of the best practices that way.
We got about 5 minutes left here this morning. Is that about it for that
yes,
part of your discussion? What else you want to talk about?
All right, so the next thing is, and this is going to go biblical. I think I try and be as transparent as I can. I'm a born-again believer in Jesus Christ, and I'm a Christian, but I don't force that on anybody else, but I want people to know who I am. And there, in the book of the Bible, 2 Chronicles, it talks about 7:14, and it says that if my people will humble themselves and seek my face and pray, that God will heal our nation. Well, the governor has called for a day of fasting and prayer, and it's going to be October 10th. And I'm extremely active. In fact, I've got a lot of places that Debbie set me up that I'm going to be around the state and talking to people about praying and fasting on October 10th. This is really, really important. And I believe that if it happened in the Old Testament and nations were doing this, and we can see what happened in the Old Testament, what happened. It made a difference, and God knows and honors people that are praying, people that are fasting, people that want to seek Him. So the governor leading us to do this, I really think that's going to be good for Tennessee. So October 10th, there is going to be prayer and fasting across the state of Tennessee. And so
that's next Thursday.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So if you're a church or whatever, you're hearing this, we're hoping that you'll support that, and kind of announce it on Sunday and next Wednesday that this is important, that we want to do this for the state of Tennessee. This is really, really critical for us. Then the next thing that we've got is I'm going to be going to all the county commissions, okay, because we're getting ready for the new session in January. And I try and I got 6 county commissions, and I want to go to every single one of them and talk to them about what their needs are, what they're hoping will accomplish in the next General Assembly, if they have any private acts or whatever that they're looking for, as well as whatever concerns that they have. I want to be proactive to make sure I'm representing our counties.
Have you done this before?
Yes, I have.
I would think, being senator, you're pretty well received when and they probably have their list out.
Yes. So I'm trying to visit all of the county commissions in the 6 counties twice per year, once after session's over, and I feel it's incumbent on me to report back to them, good or bad, what we passed, how it's going to affect them, if we took money from them or gave them money, if we had any unfunded mandates and so forth. And then the other thing I want to come back to them is before we go into session, I want to hear what they're concerned on, or if they have something special that they want me to be working on. I'm here to represent everybody, but including local governments and county governments. I want to hear what they have to say. So I want to be there, and this will be just a listening tour for me to go through and find out what's of concern for them. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, though, Coleman, I enjoy being here because this is a time that I want people to know. It's not a campaign season. It's nothing. It's just time for me to stay making sure I'm listening to everybody as I can. Now, on a personal note, I'm doing something with my daughter tomorrow, and it's called a Tough Mudder in Watertown. I don't know if you've heard of that or not, but it's going to be like a 3-mile run with 13 different obstacles.
No, I don't think I have. Who's doing that?
All right, so and they do it, I guess, on a nationwide program. This is the first time I've done it. You know, I've done the marathon, I've done half marathons, I've done triathlons, but they said the Tough Mudder is one of the hardest ones to actually go through. So it's going to be myself, my daughter, my grandkids. So we'll have several generations doing that. I think that they're going to just kind of help to pull me on through in doing this. But it's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it. It's over by Tucker's Crossroads, and that's going on tomorrow. You know, I think that there's supposed to be hundreds of people participating in this, so we'll see how dirty I get.
We wish you the best. What else can I say?
Well, my wife told me, she said, Mark, whatever you do, don't break a bone, don't strain anything. Just if you need to pass on something, pass. But I won't pass on any obstacle. I'm going to go through it one way or the other.
Well, we got a minute left here. Every time I see the Green Bay Packers playing, I usually pull for them anyway, unless it's the Titans or maybe the Saints that are playing. You love the Packers.
I do. So my daughter, my dad, and I, we always try and get together and watch them every single time. You know, and they are playing the Cowboys coming up on Sunday. And so that's always a great rivalry between the two of them.
Oh, yes.
And they both got the same record, 2-1. So we'll see how this goes. And, you know, in the championships, they've faced each other many times, and one will knock the other one out. But so this will be a good game coming up.
Did you ever go to Lambeau Field when it was 5 or 10 above or something?
So it used to be that they would play half the games in Lambeau, half the games in Milwaukee.
Oh.
Okay, so I mean, so I went to the Milwaukee field from time to time, but I never went to Lambeau. You know, it is interesting that the Packers, they're the only team that is actually owned by stockholders. All the other teams have an owner. The Packers are actually owned by people,
right,
and you can buy a share to own part of the Packers. So, and I wish I did, but I never bought one.
Well, your Wisconsin roots are showing a little bit still here, but you're definitely a Tennessean now.
Absolutely, and I go to the Titans games, you know, and I like watching the Titans, and I pull for them. But I just like sports in general, and I used to play a whole lot more, but now I'm more of a spectator than a participant, I think.
Well, thanks for being here today. Our time is up, but appreciate all the good information you've shared, and we'll see you next time, whenever that is.
Thanks, Coleman, and remember, October 12th, fasting and prayer.
All right, that is part one of Coleman & Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:32. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. We want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental. A large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Heavy traffic out here now. 65 southbound there at Trinity Lane. No surprise. 24 east been slow up by the 37-mile marker coming in from Jolton from that earlier wreck. Old Murfreesboro Pike and Murfreesboro Pike. This is one of the latest wrecks. Also clearing up the paperwork in that wreck from earlier Burkitt Road just off Nolensville Pike, where it's already crazy slow leaving Nolensville right now. Hey, celebrate autumn at Oberg-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest now through October 28th. Check it out, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
You make plans for just about everything for the weekend, for a shopping trip, for your daughter's wedding, but do you have a financial strategy for the rest of your life? Now may be the perfect time to do it. Waypoint, your future, your way. For more information, call the Lebanon office of Waypoint Financial Partners at 615-444-6548. Securities and investment advisory services offered through AXA Advisors, LLC. 212-314-4600. Member FINRA SIPC.
A very pleasant end to the work week here in Middle Tennessee. Lots of sunshine is in the forecast, with highs today climbing into the mid-80s. If you're going to be out and about tonight, the weather will not slow you down. You may need a light jacket, though. We'll see clear skies with lows dipping into the upper 50s. Rain chances are back in the forecast for the second half of the weekend. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Lomax.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part 2. I'm here on Friday morning. It's time to talk about the C&B team of Exie Rocky Top Realty. We've got Miss Judy here. We've got Dana here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, that was in unison. That's good. You want to do it again?
Good morning.
Well, they are the CND team located on West Main Street here in Lebanon. Been there for a long time. Great people with great service. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust. And as usual, I guess, Miss Judy, you'll get us started.
All right. Well, we've got 4 listings we're going to talk about that are listings. All of them are varied in price range and acreage. We got the farm on Sparta Pike closed out, the 122 acres. And I'm proud to say it's going to remain a farm. It was a dairy farm, but people that bought it are going to be using it for a beef cattle farm. So they're going to restore the dairy barn to its original, and it's, the family really didn't want it subdivided. We could have sold it a long time ago, but they really wanted to keep it a family farm, and we found a good buyer for it. And so that 122 acres as you're going to Watertown will stay a farm, and we're really proud of that. Because there's so many, there's a mixed emotion there. Sometimes you want to sell the property, but then you hate to see the beautiful farms all divided up. I'd like to see us keep some farms in this area, just our beautiful land.
Well, we have a happy ending on this one then, at least
sir.
for right now.
Yes, sir. But anyway, I was going to talk about, we've got one right off of Franklin Road. When you go down Franklin Road, right beside the interstate, get off there at Hartman Drive, and you go about 2 miles, and on the right, there's a little dead-end road called Eddins Road. And the farm has 7.5 acres. It has a barn, a horse barn. It's all fenced and cross-fenced. It has a beautiful pond. And the house has a 2-car garage, and it's heated and cool. So this guy worked on cars, and so it's a man cave for somebody. And that one is $449,900, which is a great price for 7.5 acres. And you're not even 5 minutes back to the interstate at Hartman Drive. And then we've got one on Crown Lane, and it's got 5 acres with it. And it's a little over 4,200 square feet, and it's 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. It's been completely remodeled. And that one is $449,900. So when you can get those kind of acreages right in the city limits for less than $450, that's great prices. So that's the 2 I wanted to talk about.
And Medina's got 2?
She's got 2 she's going to talk about.
I've got 2 big ones as well. One of them is on Leeville Road. It's on 3 acres. It's very private. If you're looking for something that is private, you're close to the interstate, but you can't hear the interstate. You're probably 2 miles, 3 miles from the interstate. But it's on a hill on Leeville Road, and it's $764,900. And it's got the 3 bedrooms. It's got 4 baths. It has a mother-in-law quarters if you're wanting to have that, or a teenage quarters. It has a full RV hookup if you have an RV and you travel. And it has all the bells and whistles. It has a theater room. It has a man cave. It has 3 acres. I mean, you can look from an aerial shot, and that's all you see is the house and all the woods around it.
Okay.
So it's $764,900. And then the other one is on West Clay Drive, and that is right off Horn Springs Road. And Hancock Place is the name of the subdivision. And it's 3 bedrooms and an office, and then 3 baths and 2 half baths. And it's a 2-story, and it's a corner lot. It has a private backyard, and it's at $529,900. So, and it's close to Friendship Christian. It's close to 70, and you're minutes from the interstate as well. But both of these houses are ready to go. They are move-in ready. They've been well maintained. So if you're looking for to be very private, close to the interstate, and then also closer into town, we've got the houses for you. So give us a call.
That's right. And don't make a move without
Don't make a move without us. That's right.
That's right.
Y'all been working hard to get these listings.
We've got about 4 coming soon that we'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks. The people are getting their houses ready. So we've got some really good ones. And we've got 150 acres up at Dry Fork Road, right up in Granville. We sold the other house in Granville, and we've got a new farm up there, and it's got a barn, and it looks like a Walton's house. It's the old farmhouse. It's still livable and beautiful countryside. and that one's for sale also.
And it's $5.99.9.
Oh,
She's
boy,
the
I
price
tell
girl.
you what, y'all are you're
We're
cooking
on
with
it
gas.
this morning because you don't make a move without us.
Well, and one thing I wanted to say, we got our fall scene decorated out in front of our office, and we're running a little contest that if you get your kids or your family or whoever and come and make your picture in front of the fall scene in front of our office, and then post it on our Exit Rocky Top Facebook page. And we're giving away prizes when you post your picture on there. And Medina will go over next week what the prizes are. But if you post your picture, you're going to get a prize. So, but bring your kids, and we've got it fixed where you can do it at night. It's lit up at night, or you can do it in the daytime. Either one you want to do.
It can be a pretty picture. It can be a spooky picture.
It can be creative, whatever. We're going to give prizes for anybody that posted on our Exit Facebook
Y'all don't
page.
miss a trick, do you?
It's trick or treat.
Well, anything else before you head out this morning?
No, we're just we're ready to list houses. October is the #1 selling month for the last couple of years in the county because the year-round school has changed that from springtime to fall. And now that the weather's breaking, people want to get out, and the kids are on fall break starting. Some of them have already been on break this week, and then some start today. And the next month here and into November across the country they start. So people are already planning to come in here for fall break and look at houses to be ready to move in by Thanksgiving or at Christmas on fall break. So
You're ready for it.
we're ready for
Yes,
it. Just
we
give us
are.
a call if you're thinking I'm going to wait till spring to put my house on the market. No, you need to go ahead and do it now.
615-443-3130, and somebody answers that phone 24 hours a day.
That's right. And you don't make a move without us.
All right.
Okay.
See you next time.
See you. Bye-bye.
Okay, that's it for our C&D team. Miss Judy and Medina this morning. Exit Rocky Top Realty. We're about 20 minutes before the hour, and believe it or not, we have the Director of Schools for Wilson County who's going to be with us this morning. Dr. Donna Wright joins us, and we've got a lot to talk about, no doubt. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you with us. Good to see you again. I'm thinking you had a board meeting last night. Is that right?
We did. Last night was a work session and the regular board meeting simply because next week is the beginning of fall break for Wilson County schools.
So you, I guess, normally would have been here a little bit, well, probably next Tuesday, but you're here today.
I'm here today.
And probably you're even probably looking forward to a fall break.
Yes, just if anything, just to give everything just a rest a little bit, and really the school system never stops, but it's one that not only do our teachers, our administrators need a little bit of a break. We've been hitting it hard for 9 weeks, and but.
Well, that's what I was going to start out here, or ask you for a moment here. The first 9 weeks of school here, I think it's gone fairly well.
It's one of the best that we've ever experienced. I mean, a lot of success, but a lot of, when you look at just the number of kids, we're sitting at 19,128 youngsters as of Monday a week ago.
19,128. Okay.
Yeah, and two more might have been added in the week, but they've not given me that figure yet. But all that to say that with that record enrollment right now, we're not missing a beat. We have several schools that are at or above capacity. Wilson Central High School, Mount Juliet High School are above capacity right now. West Elementary, that's a little school that has really grown rapidly. We are at capacity there. And one that's really surprised us, we're watching 33 more kids, and we are at capacity at Gladeville Elementary School. And 2 years ago, we put 7 additional classrooms, new classrooms in place, and we've already exceeded that. And in fact, we're looking at numbers right now, grades K through 2, they've probably earned another teacher. And they're still coming.
No. While we're talking about all this, could we take just a second, tell us how construction, how things are going at the new Green Hill High School?
Yeah, not Green Hills, but Green Hill High School. It is, it's one of those that when we look at last spring particularly, we had 80 days of rain that really impacted as far as building the school, as far as the foundation and a lot of the site work. It is going quite well. One of the things that we commended the workforce that's out there right now. There's 250 to 300 people on site, men and women, that are working quite feverishly as far as not only to meet the deadline, but we have to have that school August 2020.
Have they made up some lost time with all the dry weather we've had in the last month and 6 weeks?
But the thing that we're commending them for, that the working conditions right now with the heat that we have seen, you know, this is historical. I mean, that's something that the weather folks have commented on over and over. Well, they have continued to work. And I mean, when I say that, you know, the steel's going up, the block's going up, and I can't imagine how they're doing it, but they have not missed a beat. So I won't say that we've made up time for much of the rain, but the thing is they're not missing time. And we feel very optimistic that it's going to be ready to open August. We might not have all the field work and everything as far as some of the athletic sites, but again, you know, we don't know, but we are very optimistic that the building will be ready to open August 2020.
Okay. What, any big news out of your meeting last night?
Not really. It's one that when we get to October, particularly for the break, we have some policy issues that we go through, some edits. That's an annual process, some language that it needs to be changed, some updates that when the state rolls out a new statute or law, we have to make sure our policy reflects that. But there were some updates that I presented to the board last night that some concerns that I brought forward really nearly 3 years ago because it was something that was a phenomena at the time and had no idea that it would become something that we would now see as a crisis, and it's vaping.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nearly 3 years ago that I brought forward to the board that they might be hearing some concern, and certainly expressed from out of my office, the increase that we are seeing with experimenting of vaping, but also something that was new and unique called a JUUL, J-U-U-L. And kids were being brought to me as far as on appeal for discipline that they had been given, and parents had no idea what they were looking at because the JUULs were very intentionally created to look like a thumb drive. And so, you know, a youngster could carry it around and wouldn't be any question as far as, because a parent glances at it, it looks like a thumb drive. And we were seeing more and more students that were being caught vaping, and parents coming in front of me pleading for their children as far as that, you know, I'd much rather have them do this than smoke a cigarette. No. What they're doing, number one, is illegal. They're underage, and we don't know what the implications could possibly be because we don't know what's in there. It's a chemical. We don't know. And so as much as that we were putting it out there, what we're seeing now is a crisis across the nation, not only with young people, but looking at young adults. Because I think it was sold as sort of an alternative. Mm-hmm. It's got to be better than nicotine and smoking cigarettes. But what we have right now is very creative synthetic compounds that also, we're seeing THC, we're seeing some derivatives with some of the synthetic marijuanas that they can create. And it's not only a concern, but it's one that we need to make sure that not only parents are educated, but kids are kids. They get creative, and it's something that can be purchased online. I had parents, I said, but how can they do it? They're not of age. It's a check a box. They're 18. The kids have told me how they're doing it. Yeah. And I want to make sure the community is aware that we have to protect our kids. Mm-hmm. It's a very attractive nuisance. It's one that it's, you know, doesn't discriminate as far as, you know, who accesses it, whether it's, parents that are very aware and on top of things, because again, it's one that kids are being very creative about their access. We have to protect them.
Well, I got a follow-up question, but we need to take a break first. Dr. Donna Wright, Director of Schools for Wilson County, is here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, give $50 off, $250 repair offer, 2 owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. An accident with injuries. Donaldson Pike at Amhill Pike, tying up traffic there with the injuries. It's bumper to bumper 65 south at Trinity Lane. Still heavy on 40 east. Coming through Kingston Springs right now. All the traffic coming in from Dixon County. Celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest. Now through October 28th. Check it out. Obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
At Absolute Kubota, now you can get a great-looking cut in less time, every time. With an Exmark, the mowers landscape pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand of mowers. Right now, Exmark is offering great incentives on the newly redesigned Quest, our most affordable zero-turn riders, starting as low as just $32.99. Check out all the special Exmark deals today at Absolute Kubota, 1325 West Main Street, Lebanon, Tennessee. Exmark, ready to work for you.
Buying or building a new home can be a very scary experience. But if you choose Judy Cox, she'll make it easy to find the perfect home for you. Miss Judy will make sure there are no unwanted problems. Instead of tricks, Miss Judy will make your search for a new home feel just like a treat.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team, 443-3130. Happy house hunting.
Head coach Mike Vrabel's in year number 2 with talent on defense.
It's intercepted. Kevin Myers, Jarrell Casey, Chris John, and Landry with the sack.
Join us right here with the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, and Coach Dave McGinnis.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmark, Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, Steve Moore Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Denova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Dr. Donna Wright for making her appearance today. And if you're wondering why on a Friday, there was a Board of Education meeting last night rather than Monday night, so it worked out for we had a space here for you today, and we appreciate you coming. Now let's get back to the thing. We're talking about vaping, and that is a problem. You brought it up at the meeting last night, and I think you said that maybe some parents thought some of the punishment that's been meted out was a little bit harsh, and I guess this is something you presented to the board. Was there discussion about this there last night?
Not a lot of discussion, but it was more that on my part was an awareness for them because parents will be reaching out and have reached out to board members because they think the punishment is too harsh. And it's not something that's taking place out of school. We have students and it's not just Wilson County. This is a national issue. I'm certainly hearing it from my colleagues as well. But what they're doing is, with either the vape pen or the vaping, and then you've got a DAP pen that, again, they're small items, slip in pockets, carry in a purse, whatever. They go into the restroom, or they're sitting out in their car before they come into school. And the thing is, I relate to parents. It's illegal. They're underage. There's consequences. And so when the schools are, more or less bringing them in and as far as giving them the punishment, the consequences, parents are coming to me to appeal because I see it as being too harsh and trying to stress it's illegal. They're underage. It's unhealthy. And we're trying to protect our children. And if anyone's paying any attention to what's happening across the nation with what they're discovering, and again, vaping was one of those that, all you had to do is look at the volume of smoke that people are producing with what they inhale and then they exhale. I mean, you see it, so you can imagine what's being contained within the lungs. Mm-hmm. But what we're hearing from the medical experts is not knowing what the chemical reaction, what's contained and what is producing, what's happening to their lungs.
Well, what are the consequences?
So ours, punishment or?
Yeah.
Well, we treat it again. It's one of those that, looking at, an illegal substance, whether it was using marijuana, using an illegal drug or substance, it's 180 days. It's a calendar year. And by statute, the only one that can modify, as our administrators follow the law and policy, is the superintendent of schools.
Okay.
And so that's why parents come to me wanting to either have it expunged and that's the term they use. Many are being minors. There's a discipline record, but not something that's going to, unless they've been charged also in court. So they come to me to appeal the decision. Mm-hmm. And it's one that they have to listen to my lecture because when I say I'm concerned, I'm beyond concerned. I don't know that we could have ever have predicted that we would have seen something that has taken hold. And I'm talking about good students, good kids, very smart kids that are seeing this as not only as an alternative, but they see it as one that it's okay.
Well, you were telling me off the air here that you have some who even say that they want to quit but can't.
And I have.
That's the effect of the addiction that they've encountered.
And that, and you'll have some experts saying, well, there's nothing really that has an addictive element to it, but it depends what the compound is that they're using. And when I say compound, that you can buy it in oils. I mean, there's many of the students have educated me as far as what's available, what they can access. But I've had a number of students are coming to me when they're meeting with me in front of me and sharing that they want to quit. And so we're going to make sure that we give whatever help that's available, that we help them do that. And again, when you look as far as where, even the cigarette industry, we've all been through spells as far as generations, as far as how cigarettes, became as far as the norm and acceptable. And it was phased out because it was a health risk. I see that this as the next iteration as far as because it was something that was being promoted as a healthy alternative to cigarettes.
Right.
And here we are today. So.
Well, it's certainly a problem that has to be dealt with, and this is too bad, but that's just...
Well, I'm on a crusade right now, if you cannot tell. Protect our kids.
What else do we need to talk about? Is there anything else from the meeting last night?
Well, one thing I brought forth too, it's something that we are having to deal with every year, but it's almost becoming another issue that really impacts every school in our district, the need for bus drivers. And I shared last night with the board that where we've had somewhat of a cushion up until about, I guess, the second week of school, we are seeing not only increased ridership as far as more students on the buses, but what we're also seeing as far as some behaviors and it's not bad behavior, it's student behavior. They're out of school, 3:30 middle school kids, they're loud, they're rambunctious, and our bus drivers are very concerned because they're trying to concentrate on what's ahead of them in the front. As they drive that big bus, they have 60 to 90 kids seated behind them that are, releasing a lot of energy and trying to pay attention to all of it. And we're having bus drivers that are concerned enough that they don't know that they can do it anymore and decide not to drive. We're also seeing that as we try to increase the number of routes, we don't have bus drivers. They're not out there. We're competing with the trucking industry that's putting $5,000 bonuses for anyone that has a CDL license. And so it's the idea, do I want to drive that big rig with no noise behind me other than the wheel noise, or do I want to drive a bus carrying our most precious commodity, our boys and girls? So we're about to move into that crisis mode. We need bus drivers desperately. If you're retired, if you have a love for kids, we're working on the noise element. We need you right now.
Well, since you're recruiting, what kind of pay can a person expect?
$17.50 an hour. We're very flexible as far as hours. We're some of the double routes even as far as increases that time, but we have the morning routes, we have the afternoon routes. We're even doing pairings as far as I can do a morning route, but I can't do the afternoon route. and working with individuals that sort of pair up that way, because there's a block of time between morning and afternoon routes. We've got drivers right now that have other jobs that they take the bus, park at Walmart. You'll see several school buses at Walmart during the day, and so we work with individuals.
Well,
we train.
Certainly, I see you're being flexible here, but if somebody can drive in the morning but can't in the afternoon, that doesn't exclude them. Then.
It does not exclude them.
Or vice versa.
And again, we do the training, and it's one of those things that we also know that we're training for potential other employers as well. So it's one of those things that we do. We ask for a commitment. We do bonuses at the end of the year for attendance.
You said $17.50 an hour. Now, approximately how many hours are we talking about a week?
Oh, gosh, Coleman. I mean, when you look at it, anything, in the morning. Oh gosh, I'd be guessing just because of the way that we're doing single and double routes. But
3 or 4 hours a day, maybe.
4 hours at minimum.
Okay,
and some are doing 6.
Yeah, okay.
And then you also have, as far as there's field trips that they can make extra money, sports events, things like that. We have access to the Care Here Clinic, as far as the benefits there. So there is a lot that we can offer. And again, it is a hard job.
If somebody's interested, what's the best way to get started?
Just go to our website. We have, particularly with transportation, or go to HR and just talk to someone there, or fill out an application. We are a great employer.
All right, we got a minute and a half. Fall break is after today.
It starts Monday morning.
Well, okay.
Yeah, Monday morning for educators.
All right, 2 weeks. 1 week.
1 week.
1 week, and then Thanksgiving
is a full week.
All right. So that's a change.
That's a change this year. Right. Yes.
Well, anything else you can tell us in a minute here this morning?
Anything I can tell you in a minute. I want to do a shout out to a math teacher at Watertown High School that's being recognized right now. He is a state finalist for the national, as far as looking at math educators in the country. He's extraordinary. His name is Kyle Sikorsky. And so I want to do a shout out. He was recognized last Friday by the State Department of Education, and hoping that we're going to see him as a national winner. In our eyes, he is. And then Coach Corey Barrett, basketball coach, girls basketball coach at Lebanon High School, was recognized by his peers as the basketball coach of the year, which last year he was the girls basketball coach for Wilson County. So really proud of that honor, because that's recognition by your peers.
Right. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I think you got a state honor recently as the best director of schools in Tennessee, something like that.
Well, something like that. Yes, sir, I did.
Okay,
and
what was?
TOS, which is the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents, recognized me last month as the 2019 Tennessee Superintendent of the Year.
Okay. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And our time is up. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Donna Wright. And that's it for Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Till Monday, I wish you a fantastic